Have you tried quiet meditation only to find out how difficult it is to quiet your mind? Do your thoughts take over your meditation? What if you could easily quiet your mind during meditation and gain the ability to focus on whatever you desire? Welcome to the Wellness Champion Podcast, sponsored by Healthy Transformation Nation. We believe that your health and wellness is determined by your own self-care more than anything else. Join us for each episode when we discover and uncover the keys to self-care in today's complex culture. We enjoy helping others discover the best ways to be well. We'll be visiting the basics for self-care and ongoing wellness that enables you to not only survive, but to thrive. On the Wellness Champion Podcast, we'll be exploring the fundamentals of intentional breathing, your hydration, nutrition, intentional movement, and your wellness mindset. The Wellness Champion Podcast is your time for a mindset reset. In this episode of the Wellness Champion Podcast, we'll be going over 3 suggestions that we have for helping you to quiet your mind during meditation, to help you focus on whatever it is that you desire. You know, I can remember a time when it was difficult for me to quietly meditate. Mm-hmm. You know, one of the things that I had tried to practice doing was completely emptying my mind. Mm-hmm. And, you know, those thoughts are just bouncing around all the time. There's so much that I have to do and get done, and so much that has happened that it's just this constant chatter in my head. And I think that's the same for a lot of people. I don't know. Can you relate to that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of chatter going on in the mind. It's the monkey mind, you know, it's just going run and run and run and run and all of the time because we have busy lives. We are busy with work, with our lives, living. And when you are constantly on the go, yeah, you're going to be constantly thinking about what you have to do next, the things that you need to take care of, even planning out what needs to be done as well. So a lot of times when you have a moment to sit there in meditation, then you almost have time to go through all of those thoughts. And honestly, that's not the ideal time to do it. That's what you're talking about, all of those important things that are coming up in our mind during that time when we need to be in more of a quiet mode.
I agree. I mean, the reason why we are trying to meditate is to help ourselves with that quietness, that mindfulness that is going to allow us to rest, regenerate, heal, or focus. And so it's really counterproductive when you have all those other things going on.
Yeah, I think a meditation is giving yourself a break, actually. It really is giving the mind a break, just a chance to just be in the present moment.
Exactly. So we have a few suggestions. And so the first one is for me, what has helped me when I first began meditation was to focus on my breathing. My breathing and also my sensations. It's what we call being in presence. When you focus on what is happening in your immediate surroundings and your breathing. So to start with the breath, of course, I know that there's several different methods that we each use for this.
Right.
I know that one thing that helped me in the beginning of learning to meditate was to breathe into a count and then hold it in for a count and breathe it out for a count. Right. Much like when we talk about intentional breathing just as a practice, the same thing applies here. Just simply practice breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Holding it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then releasing it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just keep doing that over and over again and slowing it down as you're doing it. That's been very helpful for me. What do you have any thoughts on breathing during meditation? Like how do you breathe when you're meditating?
I use a lot of visualization techniques when I'm breathing because my mind is a pretty busy place. So when I visualize the breath, if there's something I want to really focus on, say, there's an emotion I'm feeling, or there's just, I need that quiet space, I'll think of everything that's happening in my head, and I'll start breathing and I can see it. And if it's stuff that I just want to quiet down, I'll actually move it out of my body. And I visualize taking it from up here and moving it out down through my feet. And that's a way of, and I actually will bring a color to it. If there's a discomfort or an emotion, I actually bring that a color to it, and then I move it out through my feet.
I love that. That's utilizing visualization to imagine your breaths in and out.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, and that helps you. Now, when you're doing that, is that helping you to? So, what happens to those thoughts?
Well, that's the whole thing, is that they're actually moving out. So
Yeah.
I can recognize that they're there. I can see, the thoughts are there, but if I'm meditating, I don't necessarily want them happening in that present moment. So that's what I will do, is I will visualize just escorting them out, just so I'm able to be in that present state that you're talking about, where there's no other distractions. I'm actually focusing on the breath after I've moved things out. Then I get into a deeper breathing practice.
Right. That's really helpful to do that. And also, I like what you said about allowing them to move through, allowing them to move out, allowing those thoughts to come in, they occur, and then they move out. And it's the same with, I was saying that, I use breath and also sensations. So, there will be sounds and atmospheric feelings, from the room that I'm in. So if I'm sitting here very quietly, I can sense whatever motion is happening in the room. I can sense the sounds. There might even be sounds from outside. Those are all just simply, I just allow them to be part of the environment.
Right.
And I let them come in and I let them go out and I let them just be. There's no judgment. There's no analysis.
Right.
It's just allowance. And
Absolutely.
So you're aware, but you allow it. And I think that's a key. A lot of it is just simply those thoughts are going to occur, just like those sensations, those sounds are occurring. But you don't give them any judgment. There's no analysis of it. It's just, okay. And that brings me to our next suggestion,
Okay.
which is thank the thoughts.
There you go.
So, what do we mean by thanking the thoughts, right? So,
Well, like I was talking about earlier, is really acknowledging that they're there. And just because the thoughts come in, it doesn't mean that it's bad. It's just maybe not the opportune time that you want to have these thoughts.
Right.
So it's acknowledging them and appreciating them for what they are, because your mind is doing something to get you in a state of moving forward in that progress of life, right?
Yeah.
That's where a lot of these thoughts are. We want to move forward. We want to get things done. But acknowledging them in the present moment is like, okay, I see you, I thank you, but I don't have to spend all my time there on them. And that's the big difference between acknowledging and letting them flow out and moving on to that quiet space, as opposed to acknowledging them and then ruminating over them and thinking
Right.
about them while I'm working to be in a meditative state.
yeah,
Presence.
I agree. And I really have an appreciation for the occurrence of thought. Just think about how phenomenal that is. We have our free will and ability to be in our own mind. And, when you realize how significant that is, you just have a deep gratitude for those thoughts. And so, you can acknowledge those thoughts, be in gratitude for those thoughts, and allow them to exist and be free and flow through, like as you were
Absolutely.
describing.
And that's why we're giving many suggestions, because for you're talking about the sensations and you're allowing it to be there, but you're not focused on them. They're just a part of the environment. And for me, the thoughts, when they were coming in, I visualize them moving out. I know that they're there, and I just visualize moving them out, so I can focus on the meditation piece of what I want to
and I
do
think-
with my breath.
I think probably a good thing to also realize is that those thoughts, once they occur, they'll always be there.
Oh,
They'll always
definitely.
be there for you, but you don't have to let them take over right now.
Exactly.
They'll be there whenever.
Right.
So you can let them flow right through, flow right out. They'll be in existence.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So what we do then is another suggestion is replacing those thoughts, because those thoughts are flowing out. Those thoughts are coming through. You're acknowledging, thanking those thoughts. Those thoughts are now going to drift away with every exhale. Every visualization that you have where they're just leaving. So what are we replacing those thoughts with? Peace, calm, the desire that, like, for example, some may be meditating for the purpose of a specific desire. So that's when you focus on that desire. That's when, or some may just simply be meditating to gain some inner peace, where you're just simply emptying your mind and allowing yourself to be. And in that moment of letting those thoughts go, you're just simply replacing it with, at the beginning we were talking about the breathing.
Absolutely.
You're replacing it
Always
with
the
your
breathing.
with your breathing, with your sensations that you're allowing to be, and your inner peace or your inner desire.
I look at meditation also as a form of self-love, because I'm giving myself a moment to just be, to be still, to be in the moment, to, like we talked about, appreciating the thoughts, moving them out, and really grounding into, for me, a lot of my meditations are about manifestation, what I want to manifest. So I use a lot of visualization in my meditation practice. That is something that helps me to stay focused on a particular topic or theme that I have going on in my life that I want to manifest. So that's what I use a lot, is the visualization along with the breath work. And like with you, what do you use?
Well,
I would love to hear what you're
Well, with
what you're
me,
doing.
usually when I meditate, it's to release those, is to get that inner peace, that I just simply want to, every morning for about 20 minutes, 10 to 20 minutes, I just simply sit in quiet. And it is to empty that mind. And so what I do is I don't use visualization so much as I use presence. I just simply get down to the point where in my mind I'm releasing those thoughts, and I'm just allowing whatever is around me to be, like I was saying.
Right.
So any sounds that I may be hearing, they're just simply part of the environment, and I allow them. I don't analyze them. I don't judge them. And I just simply empty my mind to the extent that it is possible, and have that solace and quiet and solitude. And in that abyss, we'll call it,
Okay.
is where I can sometimes come to realizations that can be groundbreaking. When you empty your mind out, you clear it out for all that you desire to fill it with. And so that's what happens with me.
I know a lot of people also love to use journaling, meditative journaling. Now that's a different practice, where you're physically writing and journaling at the same time as you're in a meditative state. And that can be very powerful and groundbreaking as well, because for some people, like yourself, emptying them out is enough. Other people need to write them out so that they know what it is that they want to work on, or something that they want to grow in, or something that is, maybe they're feeling it. They're feeling emotions of something that's been kind of on their heart. So using the journaling practice in a meditative state is a way to get those thoughts out as well. And I wanted to give that as a little bonus.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion. Try journaling to release those thoughts that may be bouncing around a little bit more than you want.
Yeah, and I've done that. And what I love to do when I do that is get into a very specific breath, just breathing deeply, getting into that space first, and then listening to some music in the background, that a certain hertz of music that I like to listen to, and then I'll get into the journaling, and I'm very thoughtful, mindful, and specific about what I'm writing as well. That is for me. Other people, it's free flow. They need to want to do a free flow, and that's totally fine. For me, I'm more about the specific stuff. That's how I like to work in my meditations.
Yeah, and speaking of breathing, in the beginning, when I'm first sitting down to meditate, I will take that initial first breath, and with that first breath, it's a little bit different than the other breaths. The first breath is one that I take in deeply, and at the same time that I'm breathing that breath in, I am thanking Source. I'm being in like an ultimate state of gratitude. So it's just breathing in deeply, kind of in between the diaphragmatic and the chest breathing, and just simply setting that intention of gratitude right with that first breath. And then from there, I get into that regular cycle of breathing where I'm able to
I love
use that to
that.
focus. Yeah.
I love that, the gratitude piece of it. I do that every morning myself. I have a practice that I do. I'll lie in bed and I do some breathing and I go through things that I'm really grateful for. And of course, you're always at the top of the list. But it's important to be in that state of gratitude as well when you are in that meditative state, because it elevates you. It elevates your thoughts into, I feel ready to face my day, ready to be of service to others. Because before, when I used to wake up, when I wouldn't start with a meditative practice in the morning, it was like, boots on the ground running, and I didn't have any time to pause and give that time to myself to start my day.
Yeah.
And so this is a part of self-love, is this meditative practice, is giving that time to myself in the morning. And it's so worth it. And I feel so much better.
Yes, I completely agree with your thoughts on that pause. And I know that you have mentioned that before, that there's power in the pause. Yeah.
Yes.
And that applies in so many different situations too, doesn't it?
Oh, yes, it does.
Because when we look at it in this particular way that we're looking at it, it's a pause in your day. Sometimes we think it's, like if you're having, like in other instances we've used the power of the pause is when, like before you fly off the handle,
Right.
emotionally, you take a pause.
Correct.
You count to 5.
Right.
But in this case, it's a different kind of pause. It's a pause in
is.
your day where you're able to do a little bit of a reset.
Yeah, and it's in the beginning of the day, because you think about, for me, if you think about the evening, you've gone through the sleep cycle, you've had some dream time, and you wake up and then you have your whole day. And for us, we have it kind of planned out what we're going to be doing. And so knowing that I have all of these things that I need to take care of, and in the way that I want to be productive, I can set the time in the morning to be in gratitude for everything that I have, and then look forward to the productivity that I will have in my day, because I've set that intention. I've set that in my mind. I've set myself up for success by giving myself that time in the morning. And I love it, because I feel so much better. Yes, I have a plan and I have a schedule, but I'm taking care of my needs first, as far as my well-being, and I'm also setting the intention of what I want to do in my day and how I'm looking forward to being productive in the day and what I'm able to give in service to the day.
Excellent. Yeah, that's perfect. Love that. Thank you so much for bringing that up. So basically we've talked about 3 things, 3 suggestions that we have for helping to calm your mind and allow yourself to engage in a peaceful meditation for either concentrating on what you desire, or to just simply refresh, reframe, and empty your mind. So focus on your breathing to begin with. Maybe start off with deep conditioning breath and be in gratitude. And focus on breathing and your sensations, the sensations around you, and allow those to just be. And try thanking your thoughts.
Yes.
Thank your thoughts. Be in gratitude for having those thoughts and allow them to be and release them. And a great suggestion that Nikilette had for releasing them is if you do continue to have some difficulty with letting go of those thoughts, try journaling. Try writing those thoughts down so that you can have them on paper where they can live there for now, and you can just simply go back to emptying your mind and being in a state of meditation that is going to help you to relax, regenerate, and create those or to enact those desires that you want.
Yeah, you're really creating a space that you want to be in when you're in that state of presence. You're taking that time and that meditative thought to create that state that you want to see for yourself during that day. You're actually creating it.
Right.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
So for more on developing your mindset and other self-care topics, visit us at htnforyou.com, our wellness and self-care community built with you in mind.